Tonight we're talking open houses because open houses can be an absolute killer source of business, but most agents are doing them wrong. When they think about open houses, they think about the open house starting when the door opens, and that's the absolute wrong mindset to be in. If that's the mindset that you're in, then you're leaving thousands of dollars in business on the table. I'm going to break down to you the three-phase system that top producers are using, and the one that I use to bring 110 people into my open house, where 9 offers were submitted in the first 24 hours, and 3 of them were buyers that were unrepresented that I wrote myself. The three-phase system for open houses that really rock consists of 1, lead gen and marketing, 2, hosting and connecting in the open house, and then 3, your follow-up strategy. Now, all 3 of these are very, very important because if you crush it in 1 or 2 but fall short in the third one, then it's going to impact the entire open house strategy. It's kind of like fitness or losing weight. If you're working out but not eating right, you might get stronger, but you're not likely to lose weight. And so it's really important to understand that all 3 of these are connected and that you have to implement at a very high level each of these 3 phases. So let's get into lead gen and marketing. This is arguably going to be the most important phase of the open house strategy. Reason being is if you don't have anybody attending your open house, then you don't have anybody to connect with or anybody to follow up with. And so this is the work that you do before the open house to create the buzz, generate the traffic, and build your pipeline. I like to call it exposure. This is really, really important because without the exposure, you're not going to have any traffic, and without traffic, the event is going to be pointless. One thing to remember here when you're marketing and lead genning is that you're not just promoting the house. You're building a future pipeline of business with buyers, sellers, and other people that you might be generating referrals from. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, and I like to take a shotgun approach. I don't like to take that approach where we're going to be laser focused on any one opportunity or any one source, because any one of these doesn't work so great unless you're doing and layering on multiple different lead gen opportunities. The first place I like to start with is just taking over the neighborhood. When I say taking over the neighborhood, I mean getting in front of the people that already love living in that neighborhood. They already know the area and love it, and get in front of them in a couple different ways. One is postcards. We traditionally will send out 200 postcards to the nearest 200 homeowners around our open house. Okay, so get it into their mailbox. They might live on the street behind, and if you're counting on your sign to attract people to your open house or to the fact that it's for sale, they may never drive past that sign. So by getting that postcard into their mailbox, you let them know that that house is for sale, you let them know that there's going to be an open house, and it might even be something that they take to work, they hand it out to a friend or a family member. The other thing that you can do is circle prospect the neighborhood. Circle prospecting is the act of getting the names and phone numbers of people who live in the neighborhood that then you then call, invite them to the open house, and get into a conversation. You never know where that conversation might lead you. With a really good script, really good dialogue, and a really good connection, it may turn out to be that that open house isn't going to be something that they or anybody they know will be interested in, but it might be a potential seller that you now get signed up for your market report or your home valuations. So circle prospecting is a great way to be getting in touch and having high-level conversations with people that live around the home. There's a couple different programs you can use for that. RedX is one, Vulcan 7 is one, and the Mojo Dialer is another one where you can get that kind of information. And then finally, this one doesn't cost any money, but getting out there and door knocking the neighborhood. Go around and door knock at least the nearest 100 homes. When we really crush it and drive the most traffic, we're door knocking upwards of 200 homes. So get out there, knock some doors, invite people to the open house, have some conversations, make some connections. One of the great ways to get them to the open house is to let them know that when that house sells, it's going to reset the market for that neighborhood. And so they should come by, see what that house is all about, see how it compares to theirs. It'll help them get a better idea of what their home is valued at. And in the meantime, maybe you can get them signed up for your neighborhood market reports or home valuations as well so that you can stay in touch. Another great way to promote the open house is leveraging social media. And I don't mean just putting a post out there on your social media page. Maybe you got a couple thousand followers and you're going to get a lot of traffic. Maybe you don't. But get out there and promote it. You can run it not only on your page, but also run some ads. Put some money behind it to get the ads out in front of the people who are most likely to buy that home. Also, you can leverage some community groups. You can go ahead and leverage these community groups where you can post your open house in those local community groups. Now make sure when you get in the community group that they do allow you to share real estate, because some of these community groups don't allow you to post real estate for sale. Another item of value is that if you have a database, make sure that you leverage that at a high level. We have over 30,000 people in our database, and we have the ability to filter it out based off of geographic location as well as price point and the needs that they're looking for. So if you have a database and you can filter down and find those people that might be a good fit, launch some email campaigns to them, start texting them, start calling them, exhaust your database in terms of promoting and getting them to the area, and find out who they know that might also be interested in moving into the neighborhood. The other item is extensive signage. I'm blown away when I drive around town and I see an open house and I see one or two signs, might be in front of the house or might be down in the other corner, but I mean get as much signage out in the field that you realistically can. Blanket that neighborhood so people see that you're having this open house, they see your brand out there. My goal when I have an open house is to get at least 20 signs out into the field. So make sure that you've got enough in your inventory and get those out. And I also recommend getting them out as early as you can within reason, typically about 48 hours before the open house, so people have a chance to drive by, see it, and they can put that on their calendar for whenever you're going to host that open house. And then make sure you pick up your signs right away so that all the neighbors don't get upset with your signs being out there for 2 or 3 weeks. Another way to do this is to reach out to the agents who have previously sold homes in the neighborhood. All right, they probably know somebody else. It might have been a listing agent who had multiple offers. It might have been a buyer agent. Reach out to the agents that are typically selling homes in the neighborhood to find out who they might have in their database, let them know about it. And then, of course, making sure that you have that updated in the MLS. Once you update it in the MLS, it's going to push out to all the websites that syndicate that information, like Zillow and Realtor.com. So how do you bring all this together? I mean, there's a lot going on here, right? And the reason that this is going on is because we're trying to create a pipeline builder opportunity here. And so in order for us to do this, I recommend that you start promoting the event the moment that you set the date. As soon as you set the date, put it in the MLS. Postcards take some time to create. They take some time to be dropped in the mail and hit the mailbox. So give yourself at least 7 days for that to take place. Then make sure that you're scheduling in your calendar all your daily touch points, all the emails that you're going to be doing, all the database stuff that you're going to be doing, the social media posts that you're going to be doing. And it doesn't have to be just a post for that open house. Let them know that you've got this open house coming or this listing coming soon. Then let them know that the property is at the market. Let them know about the open house. The morning of, let them know that you're going. Really light up social media so that people can see what you're doing with that. The other thing is not only are you driving traffic, but you're showing all of your audience how hard you're working to get that home sold. Make sure that you create a marketing checklist for this. You want to make sure that you don't miss any important details, or that your postcards get out early enough, or that you start door knocking. Maybe you're going to order some door hangers. So make sure that you have a marketing checklist that you can get all this taken care of. And then also focus on building a pipeline of contacts. So it's not just sending out postcards and door knocking. We want to be very intentional. You're going to actually hear me say intentional over the next 10 minutes a couple different times, because with the marketing, we want to be intentional with the design is to drive traffic, drive exposure, and put and add more contacts into your database. So I don't have time to go over our entire marketing strategy, but this is something that's written out for us. It tells us how far in advance of the open house we need to be doing this, we need to be doing that, and it's that checklist that I just described to you. So if you would like that, just go ahead and reach out to me, and I'd be happy to send you our marketing checklist. Now that you've got all this traffic coming to the open house, the next thing that we got to focus on is phase 2, and that's the hosting and connecting part. This is where you're in the actual open house event, where you're meeting people face to face. This is a really important piece of the open house event, because it's your chance to establish authority with these individuals. It's your chance to build rapport with them and uncover the real opportunities that they have. People may not remember the house, but if you build a connection with them and you build that rapport and they can see that you care, they'll remember how you made them feel. Okay, and so it's really important to go deep with this. How do we go deep and what's involved? Well, first is the greeting and how you're going to engage the guest. My standard greeting is when they come into the house: hi, my name is Mike, welcome to 123 Easy Street. Are you guys out shopping for a home today, or do you happen to live in the neighborhood? Okay, it's that simple. And why do I do that? Because it's not It's not, I don't say, are you guys out looking for a home? And they can say no. All right. I'm giving them an either or opportunity here. If they tell me that they're out shopping for a home, then I know what their motivation is. If they tell me that they live in the area, then I know they're the nosy neighbor. And nosy neighbors are great, right? Like they stimulate more urgency, they stimulate more excitement. It's more people in there. But nosy neighbors are great because they're curious. And if they're not in their forever home, that's an opportunity for you to work with them as a future seller. So make sure that you're engaging your guests. Ask discovery questions, all right? Find out what their motivation is, what's bringing them into the area. Powerful questions are key towards you moving that needle on the connection. What's the motivation behind it? Are they looking to move into the school district? Are they relocating for work? Are they trying to get closer to family? Are they having a baby in 6 months and so they need more space? Find out what that emotional motivation is. Talk to them about what their timeline is. Are they renting? Do they have a lease that's coming up? Are they already under contract to sell their home and now they need to find one? What's driving the timeline? And if they tell you that they're 6 months out, what's driving that 6 months out? And then find out what their needs are, right? Like, we're not just there to sell the house. Talk to them about what they're looking for in a home, so then you're going to know right away if that house is going to be a good fit or not, and then you can focus on the selling points that home brings or the unique attributes that you want to share with them. Make sure that you're always providing value, all right? Whether it's about the area, it's about the market, it's about trends, share your knowledge. Again, this is the chance that you get to show that you're the real estate professional and you're the real authority in there. Have some resources to share with them. Have a CMA done. Have some other comps that are for sale in the area. Have the property condition report. Have your buyer's guide there. Have some resources and not just handouts. I prefer to only have one copy of each so that I can get their contact information and then I can follow up and email that. And then you're not printing off a bunch of materials either. And then it's really important that everybody who comes through, you capture their contact information and you make it very personal. Okay, contact information is really important for the follow-up, which is going to be phase 3. But make sure that you get that contact information so that not only you can follow up, but you can send them the helpful resources that will help them on their journey. So to do this, there's a couple different things that you're going to need to do. One is you're going to have to have a strategy for flow. When I go into the house for the very first time and I know I'm going to hold an open house, I'm looking, where am I going to set up at? Where am I going to have my materials laid at? How am I going to greet them? Where am I going to plan on engaging with them? Because I'm not going to follow them all around. We got to give them a little bit of flexibility. We got to give them some freedom. They just met us, so we want them to wander a little bit, be able to have some conversations amongst themselves, and then think about what's my exit conversation going to look like. When they're on their way out, what's that conversation going to look like? And then again, I said it once before, but be very intentional. We're not just there to be door openers and stand around. We want to engage. There's a sales process that's taking place. We're a salesperson in that house. We want to sell that house, but we also want to make some relationships so that if they're looking to buy something else or they have something to sell, we've hopefully earned that opportunity to get that business. Using some tools for that sign-in and gathering that contact information that I mentioned. There's a couple different things that you can use. Maybe your website or CRM will have a QR code that they can sign and they can log in on their phone. Maybe they can use your keypad and you can use an Open House Pro type of app on there, or just using a standard sign-in sheet that's on a clipboard. I'll tell you, we got all the technology here and some of our agents opt to use the technology. I'm old school. I still like using the clipboard that they sign in at. So if you want all my scripts and power questions that I use as we go through the open house, just drop me an email or a text or a direct message, and I'd be happy to go ahead and send you all the scripts and the power questions that we use to move the conversation along. The third part of this strategy is follow-up that converts, okay? This is super, super important. This is your post-open house system that will turn visitors into clients, all right? You have to have a system in place for this. It's not just send them a text. It's not just give them a phone call on Monday, but having an actual system in place so that we can convert that. You might have heard that fortune is in the follow-up or that gold is in the follow-up. There's a reason for that, okay? We want to get back in front of these people. And this is the phase where most agents drop the ball. This is typically why they're losing out on the most opportunities. Even if they tell you that they already have a real estate agent, probe that a little bit. Do they really have an agent? Have they signed a buyer's agency agreement? Are they intending to work with that agent on the entire course of their buying journey? Okay. And so what is involved in that open house system? Well, one, sending personalized texts or videos immediately following the open house. As soon as I walk out, I like to sit on that front porch and I like to record a video that I'm going to send to every single person in there, and I let them know that I'm sending it from my cell phone. Go ahead and put my cell phone into your phone so that you can reach out to me with any questions. If they have another agent that they're working with, encourage them to reach out to that agent and get back to you with any questions. The video text is extremely powerful because it really cements that face. They recognize your face, now you're on their phone, and now whenever they look at that phone number, they're going to have that video text for you. Offer some additional property suggestions. What were some things that maybe you missed in talking about the property that I forgot to mention is a great follow-up topic. You know, I forgot to mention to you that there was an ice cream shop right down the road, okay? I know that you have 2 kids, and I forgot to mention to you that there was a park on the street behind you or a splash pad on the street behind you. So that I forgot to mention is a great follow-up tactic that you can leverage when following up with your people. And then also make sure that we're following up to set appointments. We're not just sending thank yous, okay? It's not just a thank you for stopping by my open house. The goal is to go to the next phase. The goal is to set the next appointment. And then also you want to have a consistent database and nurture system in place. This is where you're leveraging technology. Having a CRM where you can leverage a CRM to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you on the follow-up. And so the best way to go about this is to build a repeatable follow-up process in your CRM. You can literally, if you have a really strong CRM, like a Bold Trail, KB Core, a Lofty, a Follow-Up Boss, Real Geeks, you can build this system in there where you can actually tell the system what you want to do on each day after the open house, okay? Make sure you time block the follow-up immediately after each open house. Put that in your schedule. If you know you're going to be hosting an open house on Sunday from noon to 2, as soon as you leave that open house, send that video text, and then Monday morning when you come into the office or you start your day, immediately put your follow-up process right into place. Focus on setting those face-to-face follow-up appointments, even if it's a Zoom appointment. We want to get face-to-face on that second appointment as soon as we can. Having other homes to show them, doing a buyer consultation if this is the first time that they've started this. The important thing is to get face-to-face with them again as soon as possible, and then utilize the automation for the long-term nurture and follow-up, but making sure that these are very personal touches, especially early on in the process when you're trying to develop a relationship. If you want my day-to-day follow-up system, again, just send me a DM. Let me know. I literally have it broken down from this is what happens when we shut the door, this is what happens on day 1, day 2, day 3, along with all the scripts for the text messages, the emails, and the voicemail drops. So if I can help you out with that, feel free to reach out. So what I want to make sure that we cover tonight is that open houses, they're just not events, all right? This is a 3-phase business builder, and you can use open houses to take your business to the next level. I'm going to challenge you to do one thing. Audit your current open house strategy. Look at your process and ask yourself, am I executing on all 3 phases, or am I just showing up to open the door? Okay, whatever the result is that you're getting is the result that you should have got. If you've got 100 people showing up to your open house, it's a result of the marketing that you did to do that. If you have 3 people showing up, it's also a result of that. So make sure you audit your process and know where you can level that up. And if you want to plug into a proven system that's already set for open houses like our system, just go ahead and drop me a line. I'd love to connect and help you implement this into your business. It can be a big game changer when you start doing them right. Take care.